In due course, Worcester against Nottinghamshire. Here am I at Southampton. The sun is shining. What about that? There's great excitement locally here because they don't need me to remind them. Hampshire have never been through to a one-day final at Lord's. This is their sixth semi-final over 55 or 60 overs. And as for Essex, of course, their honours board almost replete in recent years, but they've never won over 60 overs either. So it should be a good contest. Let's have a look at the two teams. And on the left-hand side, we see Hampshire skippered by Mark Nicholas, and Chris Smith, the older of the Smith brothers, is fit again after a recent hand injury. And there is Marshall in the middle of the batting order, arguably the most dangerous fast bowler in the world and somebody that Essex genuinely fear. Essex, the Hampshire batting goes down a long way, and so does that of Essex, and of course they're so experienced on the seam bowling front. From the bottom up, Lever, Foster, Turner, Pringle, and at the top, Gooch. Keith Fletcher won the toss, and predictably, I think, on a pitch which looked a bit on the damp side. It sweated under the covers overnight, and it bucketed down, incidentally, yesterday. He decided to put Hampshire into bat, and it was hard work against an accurate attack. We're joining it in the 8th over. They've only made 14 for no wicket. Gordon Greenidge has made 10, Paul Terry 2, and here's Neil Foster bowling to Gordon Greenidge.
Derek Pringle is the man, Neil Foster the bowler. And I think it was certainly in Greenidge's mind that anything in the slot was going to get some terrific hammer. We're in for one now after 8. New batsman is Chris Smith. Nice stroke. Had a bit of rain down here last couple of days, as they have all over the country, but that hasn't slowed the outfield up, and it's not very far from the batsman to that spot on the ground.
Stuart Turner again. And big shot, and he's given out LBW. I think that was hitting leg and middle. Barry Mayer's finger up straight away. Terry is gone. Success for Turner. 2 wickets down. Terry gone for 7. 36 for 2, and enter the Hampshire captain, Mark Nicholas. Another over from Stuart Turner. It's a fine shot. Just about defeating the fielder.
It's certainly an advantage if you're a opening batsman. A world-class player like Graham Gooch can be one of your main bowlers as well in this competition. It certainly gets the balance of the side right.
Nice shot, good placement. No chance of cutting that off. 50 up. Six overs gone. Here's Stuart Turner. It was always fraught with danger. On a short boundary, a small ground like this, it is very, very difficult to get 2 runs for a stroke like that.
Well, the crowd were urging them to go for 2 there, but the only way there was 2 there was to say, right, I'm going for 2 from the word go, really sprint up and down and forget about anything else. But Chris Smith was half looking to think, well, is there 2, isn't there 2? And he wasn't really going 100% all the way.
He's replaced now by brother Robin, aged 21. Neil Foster is to bowl from the commentary box end. He's bowled 5 overs, 2 maidens, and has 1 for 14 so far. Great shot. Beautiful day for them today. Basking in the sunshine. Sun beating down, blue sky, flecks of cloud. Real English summer. And that's the one they wanted. He's a real danger man, Robin Smith, but he's no more as far as today is concerned. Bowled by Stuart Turner. 115 they've made from 45. And even if they were to score 5 and over from now on, they'd still be short of the 200 mark. Here's Turner to Nicholas. And he's out. Well, the bowler is pleased, the wicketkeeper is delighted, the umpire is confident, and Nicholas is very, very disturbed. He's also on his way back to the pavilion.
Well, he certainly didn't hit it, and the ball hit his pad and was, I think, would have certainly hit round about leg and middle, but for the pad being there.
Interesting tactics now. Fletcher, very quick to seize any opportunity, has brought back John Lever to bowl to David Turner. Turner very keen on the cut. Lever will be pushing the ball in from outside his off stump, cramping him for room. Desperate measures. Small ground, even a miscue like that will go for 4. But it'll go for 4 for the Essex batsman as well. Here's Pringle to Marshall. And they'll get 2 there. Needed to hit the stumps. Risks must be taken as the overs drift away. And it's upsetting sometimes to the fielding side as well. And a bonus there for Hampshire. Not only a blasting cover drive, it's also no ball, so Pringle has to do it again. 69 for 5. And now that 200 is looking more within the grasp of Hampshire. It's Foster. And he's gone. Well, Foster is struck. Fletcher will be relieved, even though there are not many runs on the board. It's always disturbing to see a partnership of that kind coming off. Turner caught McEwen, Foster 36. Foster's being chopped and changed around out there. He has 2 wickets, 2 for 39 in 10 overs. He's coming in now from the far end of the ground. That's the place to hit them on this ground, either that or straight down, where it's also very short. It's a nice blow by Nigel Cowley. John Lever will be the bowler. Cowley is to take strike. .200 up, and that is a very good recovery by Hampshire. The last 50 runs have taken only 40 balls. That's the quickest they've had all day. In fact, the first 50 took 157. So they've come back fighting. 200 for 6 from 57 overs. Six more. Foster tried to follow him. Cowley was giving himself room outside the leg stump. Foster went with him.
Yes, he went with him, but he dropped it short, and Cowley's picked it up. You mustn't do that late on, to drop it short, because the ball can fly anywhere. This time it's flown clear into the crowd, the mid-wicket boundary.
He's gone this time. It must have been the faintest of faint edges. Foster takes the wicket. They almost bowled him leg stump. Must have been a real feathery touch off Cowley's bat.
Interesting to see whether it's outside edge or inside. If it's outside edge, past leg stump. We won't see too many of those in cricket. It's one for the scrapbook.
Just 2 overs to go. Leave it to Marshall. And he's gone. Just clipped the outside of the off stump. Very faintest of touches there with Marshall trying once again that stroke, stepping away, leaving his stumps vacant and trying to get it away down behind point.
Hampshire added another 16 runs to finish on 224 for 8. That gave their bowlers something to aim at. Not a bad total after a sticky start in quite testing conditions. Saddest thing from their point of view, although everybody contributed quite a useful score, was Chris Smith running himself out. But there was some excellent seam bowling by Essex, as we'll see from their figures. The best figures, Neil Foster had 3. The tidiest bowlers were Lever, Stuart Turner and Graham Gooch. So, Essex needed 225 to reach their first 60-over final at 3.75 and over. And they made a good start. We're going to join their reply in the 8th over. The score is 32 for no wicket, and the Hampshire skipper, Mark Nicholas, has just come on. Here is his 3rd ball, and he's bowling to Brian Hardy. Oh, yes, that's worth asking, and he's given out. That kept a bit low as well, I think. So that's the first success for Hampshire through their captain, Nicholas, and Hardy has gone LBW. For 5, LBW for 5.
You can see it again, nipping back and keeping low. Hit him on that right leg as he came forward.
The Essex number 3, Paul Pritchard, who made his imprint on the Benson and Hedges competition earlier this season with some brilliant catching, quite apart from his usefulness as a batsman. Short again from Martin. It's in the air, though. Turner's under it, and he's got his man. And I don't suppose that Paul Pritchard will be best pleased to depart in that fashion. Straight down the throat of David Turner. Out for 14. 2nd wicket down. 48 for 2.
Well, he's only got himself to blame here. I mean, it was a very short ball, and he's just gone to clip it. Perhaps he thought he could hit it for 6. But David Turner was down there. He hadn't just moved there. He's been there all the time, and he's hit it straight down his throat.
The incoming batsman, Ken McEwen.
So in comes Kenny McEwen, who's given Essex distinguished service for many seasons, and this is the last of them before he goes back to farm in South Africa. It's through, and I think it will be 4 runs.
So look at that, for just a nice straightforward cover drive. He's picked the spot, beaten both fielders.
He shows the off spinner Cowley. First time we've seen spin today. Ken McEwen at the facing end. Oh, it's a fine shot, giving himself room, beautifully timed. Stroke of high class from McEwen.
Hampshire, although they finished up with 224 for 8 from 60 overs, had done nowhere near as well as Essex at the same stage of the innings. Essex at the moment 86 for 2.
Honour to Gooch.
He's picked that up beautifully. It's fatal to bowl anything round about leg stump to Graham Gooch. Just smashed that away between the two men out on the boundary behind square.
Handsome shot of a short ball there on the offside. 4 more for McEwen.
And for students of style, look at this wonderful bat position. High bat, open blade, so it's no trouble at all to just crack that away on the offside. A lesson to those who keep the blade shut and find that shot very difficult.
That's out. Caught behind, and Hampshire needed another wicket very badly indeed. McEwen gone then. 3 wickets down. The score is 111.
Well, that was a little lazy by McEwen. I think he was just deceived. The ball just swinging away a little bit. Starting a fraction wide, just swinging, little outside edge.
Now this game really would be set alight for Hampshire and their supporters if they could get rid of Gooch on 49. Nicholas again to Gooch. That's 50 for Graham Gooch. Single there off the Hampshire captain Nicholas. 50 out of 114. Nicholas to Pringle. No ball.
Just the one ball that he's overstepped. Just we got a faint little tick. His hands have gone up, you see, and now he realizes he's heard the no ball shout.
Connor again, bowling to Gooch. And he's had to hurry. Not out. Tremendous throw from Robin Smith. That was a very chancy run for Graham Gooch. Robin Smith thought he had him, but Barry Mayer was in good position.
Splendid fielding. Hesitation here. A direct hit.
A very close run thing then.
Keith Fletcher just loosening up a muscle or a tendon here and there. Just getting himself ready for batting later on. Now, quite sensibly, Mark Nicholas is going to test out these two batsmen in slightly dim light with the man who's arguably the fastest bowler in the world, Malcolm Marshall. Bear in mind that Essex put Hampshire into bat, so any light problems there might be are partly of their own making. Pringle facing Marshall. Clever. Very well done. The trouble here, someone's going to be out. Incredible run-outs we'll see this year, I should think. Robin Smith was the man. He thought he had Gooch before tea. Now he's got Pringle.
Well, this really was bad cricket on Essex's part. I mean, you see some silly things happening, but they went for a fairly reasonable single. Good cricket there by the Hampshire fielders, all backing up. He tried to backhand it onto the wicket. The ball runs about 10 yards away, and then we get a real yes-no situation. I mean, look at that. Yes, no, well, you go now then. No, sorry, can't make it. I mean, really, well, you can't really describe that. But very, very poor cricket by Essex.
And that's to put the best possible face on it. 36.2, and that light looks a bit murkier now.
Well, this was a magnificent delivery from Malcolm Marshall. Pretty quick on this wicket, but also pitching about off, swinging out and seaming out and turning Keith Fletcher completely round there. And unlucky not to get a wicket. Well, it may have been a bit dark, and the umpires are certainly conferring, but I don't think it would have made any difference to that delivery.
No real surprise, I think, that they came off a bad light at 10 minutes to 6. It started raining half an hour later, and that was that. 131 for 4 then. Gooch still there. I must say that Pringle run-out, most extraordinary entertainment, at least for the neutral observers. I thought they'd both gone bananas. But it's interestingly poised, this match. It could go either way. Gooch and Fletcher, the not-outs, and the most successful Hampshire bowler, the captain, Mark Nicholas, with 2 for 31, 1 for Cardigan Connor. 5 tight overs and 4 balls from Malcolm Marshall. So there it is, 94 more runs needed for Essex to win their first 60 overs final. In fact, to reach their first 60 overs final would be more accurate. 23